Oh, Jesus Christ. Welcome back, students, to another episode of Dorkology 101. I am your host and Dean of Dorks, Tony Smith. Today, we're going to talk about some of our favorite holiday movies. As always, I'm joined by some of my favorite scholars, Mark, Brandon, and Paul. How's it going, fellas? Any plans for the holidays?
Well, I'm going to see families, basically, that's all, and work.
That's better than I'm doing.
I'm going to be working than I am doing an anime DM.
Oh, really?
Oh, sweet.
Wait, what are you doing today?
Oh, we're doing it over Discord. I have set some stuff up.
Oh, that sounds cool. Awesome.
And I am doing nothing.
Yeah! My kind of holiday.
Welcome to the club, brother, because I'm doing nothing. The only thing I'm doing is that we're actually going to talk about one of those things. Well, when we get there, we'll find out the thing I do every year, and it's not the thing you're thinking, you perverts.
No, that would be every day.
Hentai with senpai.
Exactly. It hasn't become special at all.
Yeah, it's hentai with senpai.
Oh, man. All right, so before we get started, I want to ask everyone listening to please hit the like and subscribe button, as it really helps this channel grow, and it's the fastest way to get in the Dean's List. Brandon, why don't you kick things off and tell us what holiday movies you really, put you in the holiday mood?
Well, that's an easy one. The first one would be Jingle All the Way.
Thank you!
Oh!
You only advanced that. That's the only holiday movie I like.
Only reason because I'm so sorry if I stole
It's such a bad holiday movie.
It is, but it's hilarious to watch.
The only freaking holiday movie that I enjoy.
See, payback for stealing Legend of Dragoon from me first, you bastard.
I know.
But no, just think how the movie starts. He's a neglectful husband that always cares about work, right? Then comes not only does he come home to another man eating his cookies, pause.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
and he literally is, I'm like, is no one else seeing that this man is trying to hit and take your wife?
I think that's what I found weird about the movie for me. Like, so you have a guy running around looking for a toy for his kid, but then there's this weird B plot of just a guy, a neighbor, who's trying to bang the wife of, like, this is a holiday movie, and it's like this weird adulterous, like, sub-story that just doesn't fit. And there's really no conclusion to it. Like, do you like...
No. There's a conclusion to it. See, his wife uppercutted the crap out of him. That was the conclusion.
Yeah, like she
literally did Shahrukh into his ass. So it's like, yeah, you ain't no.
What was Arnold's name in that? Was it like Scott? What was his name in that movie?
I think it was
Howard
Scott.
Something.
Yeah, Howard.
Like, but he doesn't even find out about it. Like, think about this, okay? Imagine your wife, or girlfriend is out living her life, doing her thing, and your next door neighbor is constantly hitting on her and whatever, to the point where he legitimately kind of sexually assaults her. I mean, if in the movie incorrectly, he's like starts touching her and getting real fresh. That's technically sexual assault, if my definition is correct.
I mean, to be fair, it was the 90s.
There
was a lot of sneaky shit done, and we just had to sit there and accept it.
I absolutely agree. It was a different time, but by the standards of what is right and what is wrong, that would be technically sexual assault. And I guess my thought process on it is, why wouldn't you tell your husband about this? Like, why? Like, that's something I would bring up immediately. Like, that's
why keep it secret to your husband when he could probably kick his ass since it's Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Hey, listen, I want you to know this is very important. Our neighbor has been coming over, and he's been really handsy and talking dirty, and it's not cool. Now, I get it, it's a Christmas movie. They're not going to bog that information in there. But, when they meet up again, it's, like, never brought up or
But he did tell her, though.
There should have been an end credit scene where he, like, kicks this dude in the chest. Like, that's a final shot to the movie.
Like, the thing was, he did tell his wife, and she never believed him. She's like, no, he's too nice to do.
I forgot about that. He does, like, tell her, like, hey, I don't... You're right. Okay,
oh, my God.
That's even better, even more problematic, I guess, is that now that she knows he was right, she doesn't even validate that. She doesn't even go and be like, hey, honey, you were totally right. That guy's a scumbag, and guess what he tried to do to me? And then the final shot should have been him literally booting him in the chest and then getting in his car and driving his family home. That should have been the final shot in my eyes. I know that would have been assault. He could have got arrested for that too, but I don't care. I feel like
it was a different time.
It was a different time.
The other one I can say will always be my cult classic. That's my go-to movie every year on this holiday. Is Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Not Jim Carrey's. The original.
You got me scared there.
Not as much as I love Jim Carrey, no. It has to be the original.
I never liked the Grinch. I never liked the story of the Grinch. It always makes me depressed. Like, he's a guy living on a hill by himself, and he hates everything, and
just wants to be left alone.
Yeah,
just saying it like that makes me feel like the movie's about me.
The whole reason
I live on the hill here. I love being alone. I hate everyone. I hate Christmas. Jesus Christ, that's my life.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you on that one. That's my bad. Yeah.
No, but it's okay. At least I'm not a hairy guy, so it's fine.
Well, the thing is I mean, if I'm remembering this correctly, the only reason he goes through the trouble of, like, trying to steal Christmas is because they won't shut the hell up. Like, he's trying to just mind his own business, live his life, and they're, like, making all this noise and just being jerks.
Okay, stop. Now you're just really describing me. It's hurtful.
Saying that it was right for him to go steal presents from kids and whatnot. But, like, if I lived on a hill, clearly I've made a very clear decision. I don't want to be near people. And all I'm asking for is a little bit of quiet. Keep your nonsense to yourselves. And all you're doing is saying, F you, Grinch, we're going to do what we want to do. You know, you're the Debbie Downer here. Yeah, I'm probably going to do something about it. Like, I would have started an avalanche of sorts and just wiped out the town, but that's me, you know. But I guess for Christmas story's sake, you can't just, you know, wipe out an entire village of people. I mean, he lived on a mountain.
Well, he didn't technically wipe them out. He just basically stole everything.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, I mean, you got to listen. The Machiavellian way of doing things, you know, if I'm thinking of the right person, scorched earth, basically. You know, you can't have anybody come back and avenge anybody if there's nobody left. You know, simple as that.
That's the same way I play Hitman.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
If
there's no witness, there's no crime.
Exactly.
I mean, that's true, but you're not supposed to say it out loud.
The Grinch should have had that, like, chiseled into his wall. That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's okay. My FBI guys knows this by now, so.
I heard nothing, so I'm going to choose to hear nothing. Yep, that's how I'm choosing to do this.
But yeah, I don't know. I just always thought it was a weird. Like, I do like the Grinch song. You know, you're one, Mr. Grinch. I was going to move on to Mark, but it seems he only had one.
No. I remembered one while talking.
Okay, good. All right, glad to hear it.
I'll take it before Paul steals it, or you.
Okay, go for it.
A movie with Michael Keaton in it, and it's called Jack Frost.
Oh, yeah. Have I ever seen that?
I haven't even.
I don't think I've actually watched that one.
I have.
Oh my god! And I have to do a synopsis about it. Okay, basically, Jack Frost is a musician. He's a dad and everything. Michael Keaton, technically, anyway. And he's always absent. He decides to go have a music concert with his buddy, and he dies on the road. But the magic of Christmas goes and make him turn back into a snowman.
Oh, I mean, I never saw it, but now, like, the image is in my head. I remember seeing it on, like, the video shelves whenever I went to the video store, back when video stores were a thing.
Yeah, like, it's a good movie. Like, he will become a better father when dead. But,
man, the things you get away with in the 90s, man, like, a sentient snowman trying to get close to a family.
Yeah, like, his wife starts to realize he's there. His son is trying to hide him and everything all the time.
Does she try to sleep with him?
He helped his son to learn play hockey and do that Jack Frost signature slap shot that always scores goal. He hides into a freaking hockey rink inside just to watch a hockey game with his son, and no one bats an eye that there's a fucking snowman there.
Does he like suffer from like it's too hot and it starts to melt kind of?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like it was like some sort of heat wave that the tar, like the pavement was so hard, like so hot. It was like he was melting his way there and was sliding and everything.
Oh,
and
my goodness.
Yeah, and he spent like the last day in a cottage somewhere with his family, and before the snow melts and everything.
Oh, like now, does he just remain dead after this, or does he like magically come back or something?
That we don't know, but he was not there anymore. He was dead.
Jesus! Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know
what? It was a beautiful movie, though.
You know what? I haven't seen it. Most of the movie would have been like me shaking my head. This is terrible, but that's because I've become jaded over the years. But
it's Michael Keaton.
It's Michael Keaton. Exactly. We said it the other day. Michael Keaton is a pure fucking acting god.
He is. He's absolutely amazing.
Everything he touches turns into a masterpiece.
He's the only one that can be old Bruce Wayne. And I don't want to hear no argument about it.
Imagine he had a snow fight as a snowman.
I mean,
that was awesome.
I mean, he was Beetlejuice, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That second one needs to come out and people need to stop playing.
But I'm so glad that I remembered that movie. The other movie I talked to you about the other day, and you gave it a pass for the first one, but my holiday movies, it's always Harry Potter. I watch Harry Potter at this time of the year. Every single year, I watch the all 8 movies.
I love Harry Potter. I'm always going to have a special place in my heart. I have found it harder to watch, though. Not just the first one, but all of them. Over the years, I used to be able to watch them all straight through, no problem, loved them. But I think I've gotten to the point where like I'm starting to get bored with like
the older we get, the magic in us dies.
I guess that could be it. Like it's like I love the beginning of like every movie. By the time it gets to the middle, I get to the point where I'm like, why are these kids doing this? Like, why is nobody supervising them? I'm looking at things like an adult. I'm like,
welcome to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry.
Where is Child Protective Services?
Exactly. I'm like, why aren't these? You have all this magic.
The worst fucking part. No, the worst fucking part. You're 17-year-old or something. We have this game called the Cup of the Witchcraft Cup or whatever, the fourth one. The Goblet of Fire there.
Yeah,
go fight a dragon.
Why did someone go to the fight strapped?
Go fight a dragon. Now find a way to go into a fucking lake, underwater, fight mermaids.
Here's what my whole question's always been in that movie, right? So if a wizard pulls out a wand and someone pulls out a gun, who wins the firefight?
I'd say the gun, personally, because you have to. I mean, okay, I know there are going to be some severe Potter fans who would break my legs for making any claim because I haven't read the books. I admit that now, so don't hit me with your, well, you know, in chapter 4 of book 3. No, I don't want to hear that, okay? In my mind, most magic is used through wands. Now, I know there are obviously higher level wizards who can use magic without needing to focus them through wands. I know this, all right? We see Dumbledore do it all the time, all right? But most wizards we see use wands to do magic. And if a wizard has to flick and swish to do the things he needs to do...
I don't want to be the Potter fan there to counter you,
I can pull my trigger and end this immediately.
Technically, if the fight is in Hogwarts, or not the Muggle world, but the magic world, it won't work. The gun won't fucking work. There's so much magic that interfere with that human technology.
Really?
But then you got to think this...
I haven't read the books, so I'm honestly asking how.
Like, I'm sure
I know, but that's why they have a charcoal train to get there and stuff like that. Newer technology doesn't work. But then again, it's fantasy, right? So
is that why they have no computers?
Also, a good point.
Isn't a train
being made right now?
Isn't a train technically human technology? So how does that still work, though?
It's older technology because it's working with charcoal, not like a gasoline train or electric train.
I would figure it's probably also that it's mechanical.
That still wouldn't matter exactly, as long as it's not being run by computers, which, as far as I'm aware, there's not many of that. Whatever, I'm not going to get into that. What I'm like, I don't know. All I know is it all sounds interesting enough for me to give it a pass at least. But regardless, see me in them streets, Harry Potter. That's all I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
all I have to do is hit him with the fist in his chin, and it's game over. Like,
these hands are rated E for everyone.
You can't hold the wand. Like,
can't use magic if you're dead.
Just shoot him outside of Hogwarts. Simple
exactly. I shoot him
solution.
before he get to the school. I shoot him at 9 3/4 before he steps through the portal. Done. Step on those knuckles, man. Can't hold no wand no more. It's just me and you now, baby. Like
a quick draw with a Colt is gonna beat a quick draw with a wand any day of the week.
Exactly. It catch with the back of these hands. I can't believe we're talking about beating up Harry Potter like that. But yeah,
I mean, it wouldn't be Dorkology if we didn't.
Then again, imagine fighting a fucking Dementor with a gun. No.
Well.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Those are like wraiths, right? I don't think that would work either way, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, like,
it would probably go right through.
Yeah,
there's this thing that was told to me yesterday because I'm glad someone brought Harry Potter up, and I've been curious about this. So someone told me that basically the reason why the Dursleys always were evil to Harry was kind of Harry's own fault.
Yeah, because he was an Horcrux.
Because of the Horcrux.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
that's why they're all dicks, I guess.
I'm like, that's
okay,
fucked
here's
up.
The deal. I can kind of, what's the word? I can't even think of the right word for it, but I can kind of counter that argument. So, in the very first part of the movie, it is said by McGonagall that these are the worst sort of people she's ever seen, imaginable. So they were already shit people. Like, I mean, like,
they were, but back then they didn't have Dudley.
Going to affect that.
They didn't have Dudley back then. So he was a younger baby.
And Dudley wouldn't have been shitty to Harry.
That doesn't make any sense because Dudley's older than Harry, right?
Yeah, but maybe they have it, or I don't know what the actual age of Dudley had, but at the same time, he was affected from a young age by the Horcrux curse.
Maybe,
the other two were dicks.
Does it say that in the books?
No, it's like a Potter theory. And technically, they skip out an important scene in the movies that he asked for forgiveness, like he excused himself for being a dick to Harry all this year, but that was cut out.
Bro, they locked him under the stairs, man. Like, I mean, they were already terrible. I don't think if they put the Horcrux,
he had the room.
Made it worse. If the Horcrux made it worse, I feel like they would have just killed Harry. Like, I think at that point, like they would have been like mad with insanity and would have just killed them. I don't think I feel like they were already.
But he couldn't be because of the Horcrux.
What couldn't kill? Oh,
but
well,
they wouldn't have been. Yeah, they wouldn't have been able to.
Well, okay, but I guess my thought is that it's not a matter of whether they can or they can't. It's more the fact that they would have attempted. And as far as we know, they haven't attempted to kill him. Although it does seem like the father at certain points was considering it.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's on the topic for another day.
Okay. Actually, I would actually like to dip into that. That would be kind of funny. Paul, what you got? Anything good?
I'm gonna have to go with the OG, Alistair Sim's A Christmas Carol. My mom, whenever A Christmas Carol is on TV during the holidays, you know, I come from a Jewish family, but she watches the Christmas Carol movies, shows, whatever it is, and Sir Alistair Sim's version was by far the definitive one for me.
It's kind of terrifying. The end of it's like terrifying as fuck.
Oh God, yeah.
It is. That is like the one I would say is the closest adaptation to the actual book. It is. I don't know if anybody's seen this, but like, there's a scene at the end where he's like, death is showing. If I remember correctly, I haven't seen it in a bit of a while, and you see like the hand.
The Ghost of Christmas Future. Yeah.
Yeah, it is dark. Like, bro, dark. It is like, what the hell.
We're talking a movie from 1951.
Yeah. Like,
oh my God.
It's dark.
Jesus Christ. Even my father was not born.
It is. I agree with you. It's probably the definitive version of A Christmas Carol.
But his performance, his performance of as Scrooge is in my opinion like the definitive Scrooge.
Yeah, I agree with you. It set what everyone considers Scrooge to be. You know, I think that's essentially the deal. Everyone's been just trying to copy that. It's like Mark Hamill's Joker, or I guess maybe even Jack Nicholson's Joker. Ever since then, everyone's just been trying to remake it. And until Heath Ledger, who found another way to go about it, and now everybody's been trying to do the Heath Ledger's Joker. There's just a marker that's set that everyone realizes, man, that worked. Let me do that too. But yeah, I agree with you. It is definitely the definitive mark. It is definitely not my favorite version though, but it is definitely a classic, without question.
What's your favorite version?
We'll get to that when my time comes up.
I think I can guess.
Well, we'll see. Got anything else? That's your only one.
Let's see. I've also got. I'll pick one of the ones that I don't think you're gonna go with. 1934, March of the Wooden Soldiers with Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy.
Oh my God, I love that. My dad used to watch that every year.
Dude, I used to watch that with my mom and
Oh my God, man.
I used to watch it on VHS.
Christ, you went too far there.
Oh man,
all the time.
That was the
I have
best.
no clue of what.
Laurel and Hardy were a comedy duo back in like what 19.
No, no. Now I
yeah.
see a picture of them. I know who they are. My grandfather loved them.
And it had
they
epic
were
battle music at the end too.
Yeah, they were like I'm trying to think. Were they the first like real comedy duo? Like, I know not the first, but I'm
I
trying
think
to
they
think
were
because,
one of the first on the screen.
Yeah, I feel
like they came from
missing,
vaudeville.
I feel like I'm missing something. They do feel like that. But I think a lot of the comedians of that era were very vaudevillian. That movie was a super classic and one I watched a whole lot as a kid.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Same.
loved it. I haven't seen it I hate to say I forgot it existed until just now. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. We used to watch it every year. Like, I mean, I watched it for I started watching it when I was like 4. And I think the last time I watched it was 12, maybe? So it's been a while. But man, now I'm gonna actually probably download that and watch it because it's really, when I think about it, I instantly think of my dad, who unfortunately passed away some years ago. I feel like, that you brought it up, man. That's kind of leaves a warm touch in my heart thinking about it. Thank you, Ray, for that.
And it's available on YouTube.
Oh, I'm not surprised by that, actually. YouTube doesn't care about that. They should, because it's a classic. But so let's see. I guess I'll take over. Okay, so we'll start off, since we talked about this before. Which Christmas Carol version do you think that I like? I'm curious.
A Muppet Christmas Carol.
You're goddamn right. You're goddamn right. It is the best version ever, and I will fight anybody for that one. Put up your dukes, all right? For anybody who's never seen Muppet Christmas Carol, though, it is what I consider the best, greatest, most phenomenal, most fantastic version of A Christmas Carol that there is. I recognize there are better ones. I get it. There are some that are far more classical, but I don't care because I come to this movie because the goddamn Muppets are in it, and I'm a big Muppet fan, and it's a wonderful musical with very catchy tunes, and the Muppets are in it. I can't stress that enough. If you haven't seen it, it's a movie from 1992, I believe. I've been watching this movie since it came out, so we're talking like almost 29 years. I've watched it every single. I usually have a actual span of time I have in which to watch it. After Thanksgiving and before New Year's. That is the time I have to watch it. I plan to watch it on Christmas since I have nothing going on and I need something. So I'm going to watch it on Christmas. Anybody familiar with the Christmas Carol, though everyone should be, familiar with some version of Christmas Carol. If you're not, you're probably either not from... I can't say not from America because, the book was written by... Dickens was an American author, right? No, right? No.
No.
He's English. What?
English.
It's not a great American classic, so no, it would have to be... Yeah. So I would assume, most people should know about it. I can understand if maybe from Asia and don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what people know. What I know is that everyone should know what A Christmas Carol, the story of Christmas Carol. I
have honestly no clue, so.
Oh my God. How
Sir,
are we friends?
What?
You need to go get yourself educated on that. If you not watching
Dude, I'm not from the same country. Maybe it's not something we have here.
No excuse.
There-
You know what?
Oh,
England owned Canada before Canada owned Canada.
There are 3 Christmas carols you need to watch. You need to watch Sir Alistair Sims, the original.
Yes, the
You need to
original.
watch Muppet Christmas Carol, and you need to watch Scrooge. Bill
Yes.
Murray's Scrooged.
Yep.
Okay, just send me the links. I'll give it a shot.
Yes. Thank
Like
you.
I don't know any of those that you just said. So
I'm gonna blast through a few more of these real quick. Rise of the Guardians. Don't know if anybody's heard of it.
Yep.
nope.
Jack Frost.
Yes. It's a
Yep.
DreamWorks movie. It's really good. And surprisingly, I feel like you guys know about it, which is cool. But there's surprisingly like not a lot of people I talk to who do. And it is a very well done movie. Like it's good. Like I hate to I mean, you know, a lot of people think it is good, but I think it's very well written. It's not complicated, but not every movie has to be. Especially holiday movies, you don't need them to be complicated. You need them to help you feel something. And this movie does that very well. Generally, the story, quick summary of it: Jack Frost is a mischievous but kind-hearted little scamp who basically was a child back in like the 1400s or something like that. He dies after falling through the ice, but the man in the moon, basically, it's not an actual man, but everyone talks about the moon as if it is the definitive god amongst the fictional characters. It's the one who decides who becomes a fictional character. And, you know, the whole point of these characters is to find what their purpose is in life so that they can do what they're supposed to do in this world. That's just kind of the balance of the world. And if you don't do what you're supposed to do to make your mark, to find your way, people forget you and you disappear. And so Jack, for years, has been trying to find that thing. He plays with the kids by creating snow days so kids don't have to go to school. And he's Jack Frost. He gets a bad rap, but he brings a lot to the table as to what kids love about the holidays. And unfortunately, Santa Claus gets a lot of that love. But Jack Frost is a big play, as far as we learn in the story. And eventually, this character named Pitch Black has set a plan in motion to turn the world dark so he can take over the dreams of all the people, around the world, mostly kids, and turn their dreams into nightmares. Terror is what gives him his power. He's pitch black. And terror is, a part of life. It's a balancing act, That terror helps you grow strong, and that strength helps you be a better person, fighting through your fears and whatnot. Unfortunately, because people are adjusting to learning to be happier, more balanced people, Pitch has become weak, and that weakness makes him scared. And so he's decided that the hell with that, I'm going to turn everyone's dreams evil, and that's it. And the Guardians' job are to fix that imbalance. And it is accompanied by very good voice actors, surprisingly, the actors. Chris Pine, who plays Jack Frost, Jude Law, who plays Pitch Black, Alec Baldwin, no gun in hand. I know, that's messed up. He plays St. Nicholas. I know. Hugh Jackman plays the very hot-headed Easter Bunny, and Sandman, who is mute, but he's probably one of my favorite characters in the entire movie. It is very well done. It's an action kind of movie. You get to learn about the importance of each holiday, and it's not just the on the surface stuff. It is about how it works along with nature and the balance of the world. Obviously, it's a fictional characters, but it really does make you want to believe that this magic of the world really exists, and I think that's what really helps the film, touch hearts the way it does. And again, another recommendation, if you haven't seen it, it's really good animated film. It's not that long, which is good. But it really packs a very warming punch. Two more that I'll knock out pretty quickly. Nightmare Before Christmas, everybody should know. If you don't know, I don't know what the hell you've been. Yeah, it's Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, what are you going to do? If, for the sake of God, you haven't seen this movie, I just pity you. Basically follows Jack Skellington, best known as the Pumpkin King, beloved member of Halloween Town. Jack has become like bored essentially with the yearly tradition of scaring human children, because that's their thing. It's a town of Halloween. They essentially are what makes the human realm, they bring the hauntings and the scary stuff. That's their deal. And that for the kids, that's the fun part of being scared for Halloween. But he's become bored with it. Jack is like the best scarer there is, and he's bored with it. He stumbles one day across Christmas Town, if I remember correctly. I believe that's what it's called. And it's brightly colored and beautiful and warm, full of spirit. And Jack wants that. Jack sees something new, something beautiful. There's an entire song that's amazing about it. Then it gets weird because he decides I want to kidnap Santa Claus and take over the job as Santa Claus and brings Christmas to Halloween Town. It's crazy as hell, but some ideas should just stay ideas, and Jack learns that firsthand. It's some fantastic musical numbers, amazing acting, and it is one of my favorite Tim Burton movies out there. Tim Burton is a master, is masterclass at mixing this dark movies with heart behind them. That he's just really masterclass, man. Plus he gets extra props from me because he is the reason Batman is the character he is today. What were you going to say, Paul?
I was just going to say that A Nightmare Before Christmas is really Tim Burton at his best and wackiest. It's just such a good movie.
That's handing the keys to Tim Burton. Like, hey, do what you want to do. Doesn't matter. Yeah. just make it great. And he did. Finally, and this is there are 3 movies in a row, but I'm not going to go through every last one of them. 1994, a trilogy of holiday movies begins that quite honestly sucks. All right, they're bad movies. But despite them being bad, they are charming movies that are obviously fan favorites because these movies have made a buttload of money for whatever company owns them. And I'm talking about the Santa Claus trilogy.
Oh, yeah, with Tim Allen.
Shockingly, I like these movies. I love them, actually. They're bad movies, and if you ever sit down for even a moment and try to analyze them, it is like, what were they smoking when they made these? The second and third, I would say, have a lot more consistency in the stories. The second is probably the best one in my opinion. The first one, though, is a fever dream. There are some things in this movie that make absolutely no sense. Like, for one, Charlie, the little boy, Tim Allen's son, just a little quick over, Tim Allen is divorced and he's going through a real bad custody battle for their son, Charlie. Charlie's a cute little kid who wants to believe in Christmas and whatnot. Tim Allen is like a toy executive for some big company. Think of like Mattel or any of those big toy companies, and he never really has time for his family. Much like many of these Christmas stories, apparently. But he loves his son. He's trying to bring Christmas to his son as best he can, but he sucks at it. And then his mom is dating a new guy named Neil, I think his name was. And Neil is he's a therapist who is like really an annoying therapist type. He's a nice guy, there's no question, but put it this way, they give this kid crap for believing in Christmas. The kid's like 9 or 10 years old. Like, he's like playing in his room, like pretending that the reindeers and whatever like that. And they're like, oh man, there's something wrong with this kid and we need to like get him therapy. And I'm like, he's a piece of child. Like, what is wrong with you people? You monsters. Like, they're trying to beat Christmas out of this kid. And it is the saddest thing you can see.
Maybe the kid's an Horcrux.
It would make more sense. That would make a lot more sense. But it's so weird watching them like, Charlie, Christmas isn't real, and you've got to give up on this and get a job. Like, that's what I expected him to say. Like, legitimately.
It's the war on Christmas, Anthony. It's the war on Christmas.
Dude, it is insane. Like, it is just insane.
It's the prequel to The Grinch.
Oh, my God. Oh, please someone write a fanfic of that. I want that. I want Charlie losing hope in Christmas is what turns him into the Grinch. and I don't know how he turns green, but I like to think there's some experiment he got into one day trying to end Christmas forever, and he slipped into a vat like the Joker and came out all green, and then he hid away on the mountain. Dude, I want someone to write this story. That's what I want. If I were a writer, I would write this story. I need someone to do it. Create the fanfic. If you can create Harry Potter's wand and Twin Towers, it does exist, then I need this story. But yeah, so I mean, the whole deal, like the first Santa Claus movie is just super weird. The whole premise of the movie essentially is that one night, Charlie and his father are, at his apartment, and they hear a noise, and they come outside to investigate. And it's Santa Claus, who apparently really exists, and he gets startled by Tim Allen, who plays Calvin, and he falls off the roof and dies. Now, that's pretty dark in a Christmas movie where Santa Claus dies. Right? That's nuts. But what's really nuts is the fact that whoever puts on his clothes, again, I can't stress how weird this is. So he puts on a dead man's clothes because the dead man disappears. He watched the man disappear from the clothes, and the clothes drop down because there's nothing in them anymore.
It was the Force.
I thought that shit when I was I think it was 15, and laughed myself stupid. It's super stupid. But yeah, he puts on the dead man's clothes. What are you thinking? And then he becomes enchanted with Santa Claus's powers or whatnot. And you have to also look at the body horror in this movie. Imagine if you started gaining 80, 90, 100 pounds overnight, and beards are growing wildly, and there's a sound of jingle bells in your heart. And I mean, I'm telling you.
And it clearly gives you powers to not get diabetes.
Yeah, apparently.
With all the cookies you eat.
He went to the doctor, and the doctor had him run on a treadmill. He's like, your heart is in great condition. Everything, your labs come back. You're fine. So he's in tip-top health, but his body is just enormous. And he should be a medical marvel. There should be tests done on him, but everyone's treating it Calvin, you're a little overweight. You need to fix that thing. No one's questioning how this man went from what he looked like 120, maybe 130 pounds to being 280, 300 pounds overnight. No one's questioning this. It's just, Calvin, you gotta take a little better care of yourself. Are you all taking dum-dum pills? What is wrong with you?
My whole thing is I like the cure that he has for diabetes. I'd enjoy that.
I would like that too.
That'd be great.
Having that would be the best day ever. I'd like to have sugar again. It's a very annoying thing.
Luckily enough, I don't want to get to my own medical history, but yes, diabetes sucks. But yeah, it's there's so many things in this story, and you find out the parents. The reason not the parents, but the mom and the boyfriend, the reason they hate Christmas is because they both, when they were kids at a certain age, they really, really wanted this one particular gift. Even the mom says, I got tons of gifts, all the gifts, but all I ever wanted was some doll, I think, or something like that. And I didn't get it. And that was the day I knew Santa didn't exist. And I'm like, bro, what? Wait, what? Please, just you gotta be kidding me. You have hundreds of gifts under that tree, and you stop believing in Santa Claus because you didn't get one thing? I'm sure you didn't. That was the only thing you didn't ask for, right? He got everything else, right? It's a good, it's a bad movie, but somehow it makes you feel good. I don't know how it's done, but it does work. There's also some unfortunate fart jokes and such, very lowbrow, but it's kids' movies, so what are you gonna do? Those are those, 3 movies. They're enjoyable. They're just bad. That's pretty much the best. They're just bad. Second one, I think, is the better one, but it also really is also really stupid. No, if anybody out there loves them, just believe me, I like them. I really do. But if you look at them as movies, if you just take a second to look at them as actual films, they are badly written movies. Not Trolls 2 bad, but What is it? Night of the Trolls? I can't remember. But yeah, that's I think that's all the ones I have. So I guess that's anybody else say anything they want to add?
Nope.
All right then. Well, I do believe that is all the time we have today. I want to thank my fellow dorks for coming out. You guys are awesome as always. I always have fun talking with you guys.
Same here.
Yeah. Gets me out of the bed once a week. Fellas, tell the nice people where you can be found online.
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and Hover, and TikTok with the same tag, LeonardX44.
You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, fucking Yahoo Mail. Hover and AmericanBlackup.com. American Blackup.
On MIRC also.
You can find me on MySpace. We'll go that far.
MIRC, man. MSN Messenger.
I actually looked at that yesterday. Check out MySpace, see what it's about these days. It's pretty much just a music site now or something like that. Like it's just where, up and coming musicians go to put their stuff up. Like that's it's fallen quite far since the days
of greatness.
I know. Yeah, exactly, from this great era until Facebook came along and screwed us all over by ruining the internet.
Good Lord.
But those are other feelings I have. How about you, Paul? Where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitch at ELEMWIZ, that's Elamwiz, or Elamwiz Gaming at on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Hover.
Cool. And as always, you can find me, Superstar Senpai, on Twitch, Twitter, and of course YouTube, because you're here already. I hope you all come back next week for another riveting episode of Dorkology 101. And as always, class dismissed.